So Sony sent me the new PlayStation Pulse Elite pair of gaming headphones or headset, and it picks up from where the Pulse Explore and the Pulse 3D have come from in terms of the technology, the design, and so on and so forth. But before we get into it though, if this is your first time around here, please do subscribe because we are on the way to 100,000 subscribers, so every little helps. Let's get into it. So the $129.99 pair of Pulse Elite unboxing experience is what you'd expect from a brand like Sony or PlayStation, and it looks really good. I love the colorway and everything. When you open it up, you are greeted with the instruction to set this up. So whether it's you connecting it to your smartphone, connecting it to your gaming device or console, PlayStation 5, for example, or even your PS Portal, it gives you the instruction to get started, so there's no issues there at all. Underneath the instruction, you then get your USB dongle. So this is not any USB dongle. This is a Sony PlayStation Link dongle, which allows you to connect it to your PlayStation 5 wirelessly. And then we get the pair of headphones themselves. So we just unwrap this, take up all the foam and all that packaging material, and you can see the headset in its full glory. It looks absolutely fantastic. Then we have our USB-C to USB-C cable. This will be useful for updating it and connecting it and the first setup process and even charging it up as well. What's also cool as well is there's a little hanger that you get in there as well. This little hook allows you to attach it to your desk, for example, and that hook also has a charging mount. So with it integrated, you'll be able to charge your headset while it's docked, which is really nice. Actually, maybe it's just the dock. It's probably got an official name, but basically you get the gist. You can hang up your headphones on them when you're not playing any games. With that, you get plenty of user manual or the usual booklet you get in the packaging, so give that a read as well. It helps you with the installation as well as the setup process. Closer look at the headphones themselves though, there's a lot to talk about here. It's very familiar if you've seen the Pulse 3D headsets before in terms of the little headband area here, which is nice and flexible, allows you to easily just put on your head regardless of your head size, and that's what allows it to stay as tight as possible on your head, which we'll talk about how comfortable it is as well at some point in this video. And then we get the headphones hair cups. They're very nice and soft as well, very comfortable. It's got movement to it as well to allow for flexibility, so when you go on your head it can fit on different head sizes and so on and so forth. What's also cool about this is they've moved some of the controls that you would see on the Pulse 3D, for example, from the hair cups. They've moved it to the actual stems on the side. So for example, on the left side is where you'd get your retractable headphones. So you can pull that in or out, and then on top of that headphone as well on the headphone itself. So whilst you're gaming, you can quickly press that to mute yourself so people can't hear what you're talking about. So if someone came in the room very quickly, you can mute it so they can't hear the conversation that you're having in your space. And then that's so flexible as well. You can easily rotate it, bend it, whatever you want to do. Point it a bit more towards your mouth if you need to do that. But the good thing about this is you can just put it back in, push it back inside when you don't need it. Previously, they used beam forming technology, but now we get this retractable headphones or mouthpiece that allows you to speak as close as you can, and it picks up your voice as good as it can be. And then on the right side is where all the controls are. So on the controls, we have on that side we have a volume control, which is nicely recessed in there. Got USB-C ports, headphone jack, and also your power button and your link button as well. So one thing I'll mention here though is that it takes a bit of getting used to at first because the volume rocker are quite embedded inside of there. So once you get it on, it takes a bit of getting used to in terms of figuring out where the controls are. But once you've done it once or twice or so, you pick that up very quickly and you're good to go. In terms of battery life, Sony says this will go for up to 30 hours, but I'm getting around 25 hours, but it's a lot of gaming. I don't really game for that long usually, so battery life is no issue for me, and I can easily dock it again when I need to do so. On top of that headband as well, that's where the charging port is. So you got another charging port there for the docking. So that little hanging docking thing, you can use dock it on there and it's good to go. I've said dock so many times, but you get the gist. That's what you do. When it comes to how comfortable it is, it's actually pretty comfortable on your head. It's lightweight, so it's not heavy at all, so you don't feel that you've got this extra thing on your head that you have to wear for a prolonged period of time. It feels nice and comfortable in that sense. The only qualms I had with it though is how tight it felt on top of my head. It didn't feel too tight. So in gaming experiences where I'm getting so into it and I'm sort of moving around and stuff, this has that loose movement, which kind of was a bit annoying. I wish it was a bit tighter on top of my head. I've got a big head as well with my hair as well. It would have been nice if it was tighter in that sense. But otherwise though, I think as far as design goes, this looks very good. It's nice and snazzy depending on which angle you're looking at. I think it looks really good all around. I love the colorway as well. The Pulse 3D that I had was in all black, so it's good that you get this two-tone white and black Sony PlayStation colors, and you got little tiny details here and there with the Sony controller logos all over it, PlayStation logos all around it, which is really nice. Nice little like Easter eggs here and there. You just find them at random times, and also the dongle has a lot of the small prints on there as well, which is pretty cool. Just attention to detail. and that's all that is. When it comes to durability, it's hard to tell how long this will last over the period, a longer period of use. But for now, it's really good. It's nice and flexible, so you don't have to worry about your head size and breaking this. Nice and flexible. It feels solid. The only qualms I'd have or worry or concerns would be that the ear cups, I don't know how long the leather is going to last for before it starts to fray and all that kind of stuff with the ear cup. And you can't replace this as well, so that's something to bear in mind. One thing that's also cool about this is you can connect to up to 2 devices, so more to link, but there's a little caveat to this, which means only when you've got this connected to Sony PlayStation Link, for example, to your PlayStation 5, you'll be able to connect this to your phone as well, listen to music, for example, whilst you still be able to game at the same time simultaneously. But if you're connected to, say, 2 smartphones, for example, it won't work the same way. So that's something to bear in mind. As far as listening experience goes, though, actually, before I go to that, it has some software compatibility as well. So you can connect this to your PlayStation Portal, for example, so you can pick up from where you left up from your console, go into the corner of the room or whatever, connect very seamlessly to your PlayStation Portal and take your gaming experience with you as you're gaming out and about or in the house, whatever you do, you can do that. So that's good that this is compatible with that as well. Actually, I think only this is compatible and the Explorer that you can connect to a PlayStation Portal. So it's good to have another accessory that you can use with 2 Sony PlayStation different consoles. So that's really good. But more on the software experience. So once you connect this to your Sony PlayStation 5, it picks it up very quickly. It knows what you're doing. Unfortunately, with the PlayStation 5 Slim, the USB-A dongle only works on the back of the device, but that's not a problem at all because I actually I don't want to be seeing it. I want it to be hidden away. So that's probably not a bad thing at all. But once you're connected it, you get the software experience, which allows you to easily disconnect it, connect it. But there's also EQ settings, which allows you to have some presets like bass, shooter mode, and there's other custom modes as well that you can set yourself to suit your preference. So if you know what you're doing, you can set it to your preference and then save that as one of the presets. So that's also a bonus to have there. One thing I did notice though is once you've set that up and you connect this to your PS Portal, it doesn't give you that same grace of being able to change the EQs on the PS Portal. Maybe I still need to dig into that and see where how that's possible, if possible at all. But that's something worth picking up whilst I was doing it. But yeah, the mute button is really good, works really well, works in conjunction with the controller as well, so the controller can still mute as always, so people can hear me properly on air, which is really good with a microphone. You also use the Sony's AI noise rejection technology, which means whilst you're speaking on the microphone, the noise in the background will be reduced. Unfortunately for me, or fortunately, you can say, the place that I use this, I don't have background noises going on, so I couldn't really put that to the test in terms of how effective it is. But if there's anything, I've seen other videos where they've demoed it and it works really well. But other people on the other line though do tell me my voice sounds very clear, which is really good. That's the most important thing, because at the end of the day, it's a communication tool. You want to be able to hear immersively your gaming experience, so footsteps and all that kind of stuff, but you still want people to be able to hear you clearly as well. You can also triple tap that PlayStation Link button to bring up the audio settings, so you don't have to always go into the settings on the actual console to bring it up and change the bass levels or whatever. So you can just triple tap, it brings it up, and you can do that as well. This also works with your smartphone if you want to listen to music. This works really well. I believe Sony acquired Audizy or Audiz recently, and using that technology in conjunction, they've put all that technology into here with that planner drivers, allows the sound quality to be really good. It's nicely balanced, and I think this is designed for detail. So whilst it's still balanced with bass, the mid and trebles, the details are really good. So when it comes to hearing footsteps or little tiny minute micro movements when you're gaming, you'll be able to hear all those details as you're moving around, like playing Call of Duty. I play Call of Duty a lot. So being able to hear who's coming around the corner or from distance and stuff like that, it just works really well. And it's ultra low latency as well, which means latency is no issue. So it's very much connected to my gaming experience. Even when I'm on the Portal where sometimes the internet connection is not that good to connect back home to my console, I'm still getting a really good level of latency there with no issues at all. So I think for under £99, these are really good and something that I would recommend. It's lightweight, the design is great. Apart from just, it's not as tight as I want it to be on top of my head. Apart from that, I forgot to mention as well, you do get 2 LED lights, one on the right side and one on the microphone as well to indicate different things. Microphone obviously to indicate when it's on, as in muted, and when it's not muted, and the other side is for connection and also to see when it's in pairing mode and all that stuff. So I think overall, great pair of headphones. Sony's done a great job there. Hopefully I haven't missed anything in this, but that's my experience with it. It's something I'm going to start using over my 3D and use this a lot more. And maybe I'll leave one at home and one in the studio, who knows. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any questions, drop them there as well. And if this is your first time here, please subscribe as always on that road to 100K. Hopefully get that soon. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.